Before we head into your stories in detail, let's start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
All unemployed graduates, both internal and external, to be given employment opportunities within 2 months. A promise from Sajid Premadasa. Gotabaya pledges in Gampaha to fulfill all promises made by him before the end of his tenure. MCC agreement heats up the presidential campaign stage. A rise in dengue. 10,238 patients recorded in October.
First up in local news, the National Election Commission has banned the independent television network, better known as ITN, from conducting live political programs, interviews or discussions from the 4th of November until results of the presidential election are released.
Chairman of the NEC, Mahinda Deshapriya, issuing a letter to the chairman of ITN, said political-based programs can only be aired if they are pre-recorded and have obtained the approval of the NEC. The letter further notes ITN was informed on several occasions to refrain from violating media ethics. The letter further notes the National Elections Commission had received a complaint regarding a program that was aired on the 30th of last month, which had caused duress to Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
Minister of Finance Mangala Samaravira has challenged leader of the opposition, Mahinda Rajapaksa, to explain how the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Compact will be detrimental to Sri Lanka.
Issuing a statement, the finance minister said the opposition leader, who charges that signing the MCC agreement will harm the country, is trying to portray it as an American horror, without revealing the harm the agreement will purportedly bring to the country. He added that discussions with MCC began in 2002 and that the government led by Mahinda Rajapaksa tried to obtain the MCC grant in 2005. The minister added that the attempts failed due to allegations of corruption and human rights violations levelled against the government at the time. We can't let anyone rob the lands. They belong to the people of this country. We have opposed certain agreements this country is trying to sign. They have started to sign agreements in the run-up to the presidential election. They are also bringing in new acts. A government should know not to do certain things when the country is preparing for an election. They are selling our lands. How can we allow this to happen? They say that we have signed 3 agreements with the United States. They scare people saying that this is an American death trap. The entire generation of those who speak about this live in America. I ask Mahinda Rajapaksa to say that they will abolish the MCC grant for the sake of US citizen Basil Rajapaksa, Dudley Rajapaksa and Gotabaya Rajapaksa. I challenge him. We get $480 million free of charge. Are we getting that money to sell the country? No. We are getting this money to establish a proper transportation system. Our ministry will implement this project. We assure you that we will not let our country bow down to any other country, including America. We remind you that the American death trap is none other than Nandasena Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
Convening a media briefing today, presidential candidate PSC Vijay Nayaka said if Sajid Premadasa or Gotabaya Rajapaksa makes a pledge assuring they will not sign any US agreements, he will step down from the presidential race and pledge his support to the respective candidate.
Against a backdrop where all these things are in place to sign the US agreement, President Maithripala Sirisena has halted the operations. Issuing a statement, he clearly stated this agreement will not be signed during his presidential tenure. He said the future president will take the decision in this regard. I am challenging my opponents. I will send a written request to Sajid Premadasa and Gotabaya Rajapaksa. I challenge them to present a written pledge to the public assuring that the government will only sign the US agreement if it is approved through a public referendum. I will step down from the presidential race and pledge my support to whoever the candidate who accepts this challenge.
Welcome back to the news. In the local news, the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund completed the 6th review of Sri Lanka's economic performance under the program supported by an extended arrangement under the Extended Fund Facility.
The completion of the sixth review enables the disbursement of about 164 million US dollars, bringing total disbursements under the arrangement to about 1.31 billion US dollars. According to the IMF, growth is projected to strengthen to 3.5% in 2020 from 2.7% in 2019 as tourist arrivals and related activities gradually recover. Mitsuhiro Furusawa, Deputy Managing Director, said in a statement, quote, "Sustaining fiscal policy discipline remains critical to strengthen resilience and support growth as important downside risks remain amid heightened external and domestic uncertainty," unquote. Accepting and following the instructions and guidelines of the International Monetary Fund is one of the main reasons behind the present state of our economy. The many measures introduced, including tax amendments and new currency regulations, continue to burden the general public. Against such a backdrop, what right does the IMF have to speak about fiscal policy in our country?
As mentioned earlier, presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front, Sajith Premadasa, was engaged in a number of public rallies held island-wide today.
The locals of Gampala warmly welcomed presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa this morning.
රැකියා විරහිත උපාධිධාරීන් සිටිනවා. මම පැහැදිලිවම කියන්න කැමතියි. අභ්‍යන්තර බාහිර කියලා වෙනසක් මම කරන්නේ නැහැ.
There are unemployed graduates at present. I would like to state clearly, I will not criticize between internal or external. When I am elected president on the 16th, all unemployed graduates, both external and internal, will be given jobs within 2 months. A few days ago, I invited the presidential candidate from the opposing camp to join me for a debate to talk about all of these issues. Sajith Premadasa is ready. I invited him for a raw, unedited debate. If there are any teleprompters, those should also be shown. I made this invitation. There has been no response until today. I have a spine and a backbone. More than that, I have Premadasa genes. I will come alone. I will tell all our war heroes. I will not allow any politician to interfere with security forces. Politicians do not exist to command security forces. Politicians should serve the country.
කිසිම දේශපාලඥයෙකුට ආරක්ෂක අංශවලට මම ඇඟිලි ගහන්න ඉඩ දෙන්නේ නැහැ. දේශපාලඥයෝ ඉන්නේ ආරක්ෂක අංශ මෙහෙවන්න නෙවෙයි. ඒ ඇත්තෝ ඉන්නේ රටට සේවයක් කරන්න. එක්සත් ජාතික පාක්ෂිකයන්ගේ හදගස්ම හැංගීම.
We saw the pulse, the excitement and the feeling of the UNP supporters when Sajith Premadasa entered the stage. We had to keep count of the MPs who came to temple trees and who did not. We weren't sure of who had been bought over. As a party leader personally, I had to lock up my group of MPs in a hotel room. If the Rajapaksas come into power, they will try to convert MPs by handing out chunks of money. I told Rishad Badiuddin, let's go to Mecca. I had to take a pledge in Mecca, saying that I will protect our MPs. If we had not publicized who our candidate was, we would not have been able to save our MPs. We contacted the leadership of the party and gave them a warning that if Sajith Premadasa is not appointed the candidate, we would take alternative measures as a party. It was only after that he was appointed the presidential candidate.
අපට වෙන තීරණයක් කණ්ඩ සිදු වේවි කියන පොඩි අනතුරු ඇඟවීමක් කරන්න සිදු වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි අපට මේක කරගන්න සිදු වුනේ.
Subsequently, Sajith Premadasa attended a public rally in Aranayaka. A group of SLFP and SLPP representatives pledged their support to Sajid Premadasa during the rally in Aranayaka. Our manifesto considers everyone and includes a development program for each and every individual. Our plan is to use this as a strategy to develop our country and to create high standards of living for the general public. We as a future government must fulfill this duty. Everyone in Aranayaka must create new hope. It will be a new journey, a new vision, a new road. It will not be the same outdated traditional system. We will create a new empowered society outside this outdated framework. To all those who have been forgotten and neglected, this will be the era where the small man will be made the hero. Vote for the Swan on the 16th of November. Presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa attended another rally in Mavanella today. We cannot talk about poverty every day. My objective is to permanently lift people out of poverty within a short period. In order to achieve this, in addition to the present Samurdhi beneficiary program, I will resume the Janasavya program. Through the Karmantapura program, I will create jobs for the youth. All foreign direct investment that's currently being attracted by countries like India, Vietnam and Bangladesh will be diverted to our country. The next time I visit Mavanalla to lay the foundation stones for the construction of factories, I will be your president. I will declare open those factories as your president as well.
අනිවාර්යෙන්ම මාවනැල්ල කර්මාන්ත පුරවරේ කර්මාන්ත ශාලාවලට මුල්ගල් තියන්නත් මම එන්නේ ජනාධිපති හැටියට විවෘත කරන්නටත් එන්නේ ජනාධිපති හැටියටයි කියන එක මම මේ
Another public rally of the New Democratic Front was held yesterday at the Somavira Chandrasiri grounds in Piliyandala.
රමුණකින් මේ මිහිතලයේ රටම එකට එක්වනාද දිනයේ සිව්සිය දහසින් හදවත් බැඳුනා එක්ව ඉදිරියට යන මඟ හැදුනා එක්ව ඉදිරියට යන මඟ හැදුනා.
This was the reception Sajid Premadasa received in Piliyandala.
මේ ජයග්‍රාහී ගමන කිසිම කෙනෙක් කිරුල පලන්දන ගමනක් නෙවෙයි මට කිරුල පලන්දන උටුණු පලන්දන ගමනක් නෙවෙයි.
This journey of victory is not one where anyone will be crowned. This is not a journey where I will be crowned. On the 16th when we win, who will be crowned is the common man. If there is some sort of terrorism left in this country, we will eradicate it. We will put an end to murderers, drug trafficking, child abusing and rapists. We will instill discipline in the country. We will create a quality Sri Lanka.
අපචාරකරුවනුත් විනාශ කරනවා ස්ත්‍රී දූෂකයනුත් විනාශ කරලා රට තුල විනයක් ඇති කරලා රට තුල ශක්තිමත් ක්‍රමවේදයක් ඇති කරලා මහත්මා ගුණාංග වලින් මනුස්සකම රජයගෙන ශ්‍රී ලංකාවක් අපි නිර්මාණය කරමු.
විවෘත චරිතයක් ආපහු හංගන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. ඒකයි අපි එතුමා ඉදිරිපත් කරේ.
He is an open character, that is why we put him forward. Debt was taken since 2009 until 2014. Who steered that government? It was Mahinda Rajapaksa, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Basil Rajapaksa and Namal Rajapaksa. In 2017, we repaid 2,515 million US dollars, and in 2018, we paid 2,841 million US dollars of this debt. Do you know how much we had to pay this year for their sins? We had to pay 4,100 million US dollars even after facing the bomb tragedy. In 2020, we will have to pay 3,309 million US dollars. That means only during the past 4 years, 12,835 million US dollars. How can we repay all this debt? We have the strength to do that. Gotabaya Rajapaksa pushed the country into debt and fled away.
මේ ණය ගෙවන්න යන්නේ. ඒ ශක්තිය අපිට තියෙනවා. ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂලා ණයක් ඇති කරලා පැනලා ගියා.
Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Gotabaya Rajapaksa addressed a number of public rallies held in Gampaha today.
Vishwayapura vihidi giya Podujana jayarave api venuwen api atharama nagena balaporottuwa me.
This was the reception received by presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa in Kademugga today.
अभिमंदरु कोटाबय नामे वेद करन अपे विरुआ බෞබිමට පෙමින් සැවදා රට රකින්න කෙනෙක් වේනම් ඒ ඔබයි උතුම් මිනිසා වැඩ කරන අපේ විරුවා බෞබිමට පෙමින් සැවදා රට රකින්න කෙනෙක් වේනම් ඒ ඔබයි උතුම් මිනිසා
After the SLPP won the provincial council elections and proved our strength to everyone, our national organizer Basil Rajapaksa summoned all of us and prepared us for the upcoming presidential election. We toured across the country. We even visited Jaffna. We visited Batticaloa. We have prepared all of our electorates for the upcoming presidential election. On the 16th of November, all our efforts will be realized. Gotabaya Rajapaksa will win the presidential election with 60% of the total voter base. Gotabaya Rajapaksa will take oaths as the president of this country on the 17th of November, and within a few days, Mahinda Rajapaksa will be appointed as the Prime Minister of this country.
අපේ ඉදිරි වැඩසටහන අපේ ජයග්‍රහණයෙන් පස්සේ අපේ රටේ ආරක්ෂාව තහවුරු කරන ආකාරය
We presented our manifesto with our strategy as to how we will strengthen national security, provide education and training to our youth, develop our economy and how we will protect the environment. These strategies were prepared by intellectuals, experts, businessmen and professionals. Through the Pilisandara program that was conducted at village level, we identified the issues of the general public and presented our program with practical solutions for these issues. I pledged to implement all of my plans during my tenure. When I attended public rallies in several areas and spoke to the locals, their only request was to save this country and to protect it.
ඒ හැම පළාතකම ඒ අය කිව්වේ අපිට අපේ රට බේරලා දෙන්න කියලා. අපේ රට අපිට ආපහු ලබා දෙන්න කියලා.
අපේ විරුවා බෞබිමට පෙමින් සැවදා රට රකින්න කෙනෙක් වේනම් ඒ ඔබයි උතුම් මිනිසා වැඩ කරන අපේ විරුවා බෞබිමට පෙමින් සැවදා රට රකින්න කෙනෙක් වේනම්
Gotabaya Rajapaksa addressed public rallies which were held in Kurunegala yesterday.
විස්මිත ලෙසින් විස්කම්මවා එළයේ අභිමානේ පෙන්වා දෙමින් මුළු ලොව දින අපහා යන ගමනේ නොවනන්දසින් නාවක් මෙසේ බාධක හැම
Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who arrived in Mavatagama, was afforded a warm welcome by those in the area.
විශාල බදු සහන ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා ව්‍යාපාරිකයන්ට.
We have given a large number of tax reliefs to businessmen in the agricultural sector. There are many entrepreneurs and businessmen who are engaged in the coconut industry. Today there is a complex tax system set in place. It has been recommended that we remove this complex system and introduce a simplified system. Unnecessary taxes will be removed. Through this we intend to motivate businessmen engaged in these sectors to increase production, to increase investment, to increase consumption and of course to strengthen the economy. That is when jobs will be created. That is when new businesses will be formed. State revenue will increase through that, through a more simplified, transparent tax system. We can allow those engaged in the managing of taxes to also conduct their duties easier. We can also eradicate the corruption which takes place within the complex tax system.
බදු නිසා ඇති වන දූෂණය අපිට වළක්වන්නට පුළුවන්.
හිතුනන බලෙන් ලොව පරතනා මිනිස් පෞර සදනා රට දෙය සදාම විත කරන්නට දුර දැක්මෙන් සිතනා
වියසක නැති යුගයක් මවා
Gotabaya Rajapaksa also attended a meeting which was held at the community hall in Pandala last night.
රට පෙමින් සැවද රට රකින්න කෙනෙක් වේනම් ඒ ඔබයි උතුම් මිනිසා
මේ රටේ ගුවිතැන දියුණු කරනවා වගේම මේ රටේ කර්මාන්ත ඇති කරන්න අපි විශේෂ අවධානය යොමු කරනවා.
We will direct special attention towards developing farming as well as strengthening industries. The apparel industry has been introduced to villages now. We believe we should convert the apparel industry so that it protects the working rights of those employed, and it in a way where their standards of living can be increased. It should also be made into an industry which picks the interest of the youth. What you expected of this government was not fulfilled by them. The people were devoid of many things. This government robbed the people. Then they began selling off our resources. It is time that we bear these in mind and work towards developing this country.
තත්ත්වය පිළිබඳ අවබෝධ කරගෙන රට වැඩ කළ යුතු කාලය ඇවිල්ලා.
විදේශීය බලපෑම් වලට යට වෙන ඒ වගේම රණවිරුවන්ට විරුද්ධ අපි කළ මානුෂික මෙහෙයුමට විරුද්ධ රාජ්‍ය නොවන සංවිධානවල බලපෑමට
which is against our war heroes, which has been influenced by NGOs, was not concerned about national security or the people's safety. I will assure you, we will not allow extremism or terrorism to raise its head in this country. We will not jeopardize the unity and sovereignty of the country. That is why we did not agree to any of the conditions put forward by Tamil extremist political parties.
The presidential candidate of the National People's Party, Mahesh Senanayake, attended a meeting in Matale today.
Several representatives, including activists of the party, were present at the meeting.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදාවේ මා අනදින විට ලක්ෂ 2ක ජනතාවක්.
I commanded over 200,000 soldiers, but I never saw a division among them. There is no division in the army. If there was a division, a commander or I would have never been able to make the right decisions. The reason why such a division did not occur is because we had the most important thing, discipline. This is a revolution within the democratic frame. Today they are saying they will come into power and ensure security. They will never ensure security. If they do, they will not be able to practice politics here. For generations, they depended on politics. Rogues will always be rogues.
මෙච්චර කාල හොරකම් කරපු එක හිතත් හොරකම් කරනවා අනිද්දත් හොරකම් කරනවා. ඒක නම් කවුරු මොනවා කිව්වත් මම කියනවා.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate of the National People's Party, General Mahesh Senanayake, visited the eastern province yesterday.
General Mahesh Senanayake distributed brochures among the public yesterday in the Batticaloa town.
පැහැදිලිවම වසර 71ක් තිස්සේ මේ රටේ දේශපාලකයෝ අපි බෙදලා.
For over 71 years, these rulers divided us, saying that we are Sinhalese, Tamils and Muslims. This is how they govern the country, but we will unite this country. That is why we are asking for this chance to politically unite this country in such a way that there will not be a war again, and to uplift the economy of the people. After this election, we will stay with the people right until the general elections. At every election, we will represent the people.
මහමැතිවරණ දක්වත් අපි කටයුතු කරනවා. සෑම මැතිවරණයකදී අපි මේ ජනතාව නියෝජනය කරමින් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම
Leader of the indigenous community of the Dambana Uruvarige Vanilla Atho expressed the following views.
No political party has spoken about the indigenous community so far. We have lived in this country for 3,700 years. These politicians have not thought about the history of this country and the rights of the people who have been there throughout. Before and during the Perahera, the elephants are treated very well. They are given all the respect and reverence. Then, at the end of the Perahera, nobody knows where they went and where they are. This is how politicians treat the people as well. So we urge them to think about this community as well.
MP Shantha Bandar expressed these views regarding certain incidents that took place during several public rallies held in the Kurunagal district yesterday.
A group present at the public rally held in the Potuhera market premises behaved in an unruly manner. Meanwhile, another group that attended an SLPP rally at the Alawa bus station behaved in the following manner. At present, there is little space for policy-driven politics. There was a public rally in Alawa yesterday. Around 2,500 people attended it. All distinguished figures of our electorate attended the event. There was a group of around 20 individuals who were drunk. All they did was shout from the start to the end of the rally. They even screamed while I was addressing the crowd. Generally, if the public hoot, we are all concerned as to whether it's some form of a public protest. In this case, it was no protest. This group was assigned to hoot at the rally. Those who are keen on entering parliament and provincial councils are responsible for this shameful act. Finally, the same thing happened to Mahinda Rajapaksa. He had to leave the event while addressing the gathering. Every vote must be considered for this election. However, there is one group that does not understand this. Those who are part of the Pradesh Sabhas and provincial councils think big. They attacked the flower bud. They think they can obtain votes in the presidential election. We urge such factions to obtain the blessings of the SLFP in the proper and respectful manner.
Sri Lanka නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ ආශිර්වාදය හරියට ලබා ගන්න. ඒක ගෞරවාන්විත විදියට ලබා ගන්න.
Former Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police Newsfirst.lk says that the statement made by former Chief Minister of the Northern Province C.V. Vigneswaran stating to prevent from voting to any Sinhalese candidate is an attempt to fulfill his personal political motives.
The former senior DIG said the statement was a blow to democracy. Newsfirst.lk, who served as the commanding officer of the Police Special Task Force for some time, also served as the DIG in charge of the Northern Province. Responding to a statement made by C.V. Vigneswaran, the retired senior DIG said that if they were aware of the suffering of the people during the war, they would have never made such an inappropriate proposal to the Tamil people. He emphasized that this statement to mislead the masses is a great sin. The retired DIG said if this act of
killed in a
by Madagascar police.
Yet.
State Minister of Industry and Commerce Buddhika Pathirana attended a meeting briefing in Jaffna today. The media briefing was organized by the Jaffna Media Unit.
The people have to decide between the two candidates. Are you going to choose a candidate where you can freely roam around all 9 provinces and live in freedom? Or are you going to choose a candidate where your freedom will be suppressed? Sajith Premadasa represents the people who suffer. Sajith Premadasa represents the working community. Sajith Premadasa will not just continue what this government has been doing thus far. Some say that the same set of people will come into power with Sajith Premadasa. No, he clearly said that a new team with more female involvement will come into power. We will make a change in this country.
Many projects completed under the Pibidemu Polonnaruwa program were vested with the people today as well. The event took place under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena.
Projects which were vested with the people today were the Kanduruvela water pumping station and water tower, which were constructed under the Visal Polonnaruwa water supply project aimed at providing clean drinking water to area residents. A cost of 2,240 million rupees has been spent on this project. The Sevanapitiya Aquaculture Development Centre, which was constructed at a cost of 430 million rupees, was declared open today by the President. Subsequently, the Ratmal Kandiya Health Clinic was declared open and vested with the people. A cost of 11 million rupees has been borne to construct the clinic. The Siripura Agrarian Service Centre and the Mudun Kadavala Health Clinic were also declared open by President Maithripala Sirisena. President Maithripala Sirisena also vested with the Mahasangha a newly constructed building at the Sri Purvaramaya in Nikavatalanda and later declared open a Dhamma school building at the Sri Visuddharama temple in Yayapaha, Aralagangvilla.
Hello and welcome to the Newsfirst newsroom here in the heart of Colombo. I've got some very disturbing information, and as you may have experienced over the last few days, both here in Colombo and across the island, if you have been traveling, what we have seen is very strong rains. Now these rains also fell upon Colombo earlier today, with very heavy rains recorded, particularly in the Colombo city. There was a great degree of flooding as well within the city limits, and as per usual, what this usually means is that there are water catchment areas. What happens with water catchment areas? What you normally see a very unnecessary, a pertinently troublesome menace raising its head, and that is dengue. And as expected, we have seen a growth in the number of dengue cases, with the last few weeks alone recording somewhere about 8,000 patients from across the island, and this of course, according to Dr. Aruna Jayasekara, the director of the National Dengue Eradication Unit, is due to the persisting inclement weather, due to which there is a lot of large water catchments. As you know, dengue requires the presence of still clean water for the breeding of their species, and that is plentiful, especially in these few weeks, in the weeks that have passed, and the month or so before that as well. Let's have a look at some of the statistics that have been recorded so far. And as you can see on your screen, in Colombo in particular, Colombo is of course the city with the highest population in the country. We have seen a growth to 2,593. September saw a small drop, but at the moment we are seeing about 2,593 cases recorded for October alone. Now moving on to Gampaha, we have slightly less. We are seeing a decrease, which means there is slightly better management over there in that district. Up in Kalutara again there is a decrease, but Kandy, which is another very strongly, very highly populated district, we are seeing a growth in the number of cases. Jaffna as well. Jaffna, another area that is being battered by the number of cases coming in. We have gone from 110 3 months ago to 538, more than a 300% increase in those areas. Now, having a look over the monthly statistics, in January we saw 5,580 recorded cases, February saw 3,736, March saw 3,832 cases, April saw 2,970. The highest number of cases island-wide was recorded in October with about 10,000 cases island-wide. Now, the problem here is the fact that last year, the island as a whole, the country as a whole, only saw 51,569 recorded cases of dengue. This year alone, we have had 62,111 cases and 74 reported deaths. With the inclement weather set to continue, this is said to be a problem in the upcoming weeks, especially given how much of an important time it is for the country. I think it's in the interests of the authorities to do all they can to ensure that this issue is battled and taken care of before it goes into an all-out problem and creates problems for those living their everyday, day-to-day lives. It's back to you in the studio. I'm Deshan Gonwala.
Thank you, Deshan, for that comprehensive report. With that, we move on to some more local news. The Mahinthalaya facility of the Rajarata University has been closed due to a contagious virus fever.
The management of the Rajarata University decided to temporarily close several faculties at the Mahinthalaya facility of the Rajarata University due to a spread of a virus fever. The management said that notice to leave all dormitories before 12 p.m. was conveyed to students. Therefore, the Faculty of Social Science and Humanitarian Studies, Faculty of Management, Faculty of Linguistic Science and Faculty of Technology were closed down. Meanwhile, students who were infected by this virus were admitted to the Mahinthalaya hospital. When News First inquired regarding this issue, a spokesperson of the university stated that the university will reopen once the virus is eradicated.
The gas shortage that has occurred throughout the island for nearly a month has worsened.
Consumers are queuing up at gas stations in many parts of the country to buy at least one of the limited gas cylinders.
ගෑස් අඩුන්දා ඉදම්ම ගෑස් අපිට දුන්නේ බොහොම සුළු ප්‍රමාණය. දැන් දවස් 5කට 6කට කලින් ගෑස් සිලින්ඩර් 20ක් ගෙන දුන්නා. ඒක පැය භාගයයි තිබුණේ.
දැන් සුමානයක් අපිට මේ ගෙදර උයන්න විදියකුත් නැහැ. ඉතින් අපිට කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. දැන් කාට කියන්නද කියලා මේක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ අපිට.
සති දෙකක ඉඳලා. ඉතින් වැඩ කරගන්න විදියක් නැහැ ගෑස් නැහැ. කහ පාට එකක් නැහැ නිල් පාට එකක් නැහැ. ගෑස් ගන්න කියලා ආවේ. ගෑස් නැහැ කොහෙවත්. ලාභ වුණාට පස්සේ ගෑස් නැහැ.
ගෑස් ඉතින් කෝ තියෙන්නේ මුන් ඡන්ද වැඩ. පාරිභෝගිකයෝ මේ දුක් විඳිනවා.
Restaurants and factories are inconvenienced as a result of the gas cylinder shortage. According to our correspondents, this situation had worsened in the urban areas of the island. Meanwhile, the Consumer Rights Protection Organization states that the gas shortage in the country has created a black market price. We have held discussions with the gas companies regarding the situation. It was revealed that the ships that are transporting gas are delayed due to the recent events in the international arena. Therefore, the demand for the cylinders in the market has risen, and earlier, when companies used to release 60,000 cylinders, had gone up to 90,000 now. So due to the significant difference between the demand and supply in the market and the delay in the ships transporting cylinders have caused this situation. Its chairman Ranjit Vitanage said some restaurant owners have increased food prices as a result of the situation. We inquired about this from the chairman of the Consumer Service Supervisor. We have filed a legal action against 37 vendors who are keeping cylinders and not selling them to consumers. Secondly, some who are selling them at a higher price. Thirdly, some who put conditions to consumers before purchasing gas cylinders. We are currently conducting investigations to see who are involved in such malpractices, and we will take legal action against such vendors. Litrogas says the country's gas shortage will end in a few days. The company pointed out that the delay was due to a delay in the supply of gas to Sri Lanka. Gas companies say the drop in gas prices has also affected the inability to supply the demand. Laf Gas Company also says that the shortage of gas will end in a few days. According to the company, the attack on Saudi's refinery has caused the shortage of gas in the international market.
St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia organized the 9th edition of Rally Round, a special event in aid of the Smart Classroom project. This was held last evening at the PMICH in Colombo.
The event was named Rally Round Rock and Roll and was organized in collaboration with the Parents Teachers Association of St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia. President Maithripala Sirisena, Lord Bishop of Colombo, Right Reverend Diloraj Ranjit Kanagasabe, Warden of the College, Reverend Mark Billy Moria, were also present among the dignitaries. The event was filled with musical performances by the students of the college. More than 800 students from kindergarten to advanced level took part in the event, and all performances were trained by the teachers alone.
Ruthless display of power rugby to seize their third Rugby World Cup in devastating fashion earlier today. The Springboks secured this victory by defeating England 32-12.
Rugby World Cup 2019 is about to hit
regarding summons which were issued by the police FCID requesting the wife and son of former director of the police FCID, Ravi Vaidyalankara, are false.
The aforementioned paper article states that the National Election Commission had notified the acting IGP to summon the wife and son of Ravi Vaidyalankara to appear before the police FCID following the conclusion of the 2019 presidential election. The article adds such a notification had been done following a complaint lodged by the son of Ravi Vaidyalankara at the National Election Commission. When Newsfirst inquired from the National Election Commission regarding this matter, it said although such a complaint has been received, it had not notified the police as claimed in the article. Facts were expressed in this regard at a press briefing held today.
අද එක්තරා පුවත්පතක ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති ප්‍රධාන ශීර්ෂය වශයෙන් පළවෙලා තිබුණේ.
The headline of a certain newspaper published today said the NEC had directed the acting IGP not to summon the wife and son of Ravi Vaidyalankara to the police FCID. What is stated in the newspaper is false. The acting IGP has not received such an order from the NEC. The FCID has summoned the wife and son of Ravi Vaidyalankara to appear at the FCID on the 4th and 5th of this month, respectively. Certain media organizations claim that this probe is being done based on a recent media briefing conducted by Ravi Vaidyalankara. That too is completely false. This investigation began in 2015.
එයත් සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම සාවද්‍යයි. මේ විමර්ශනය ආරම්භ වුණේ.
And with that, it's a wrap of Primetime News. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Yuki Pasha.
And I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Do take care and good night.